Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Cairo Thought Leaders Hangout for November 2014. I'm Dr. Tabor Smith, and let me welcome you. Those of you who are watching live, let me thank you for being here. We have looks like 100 going on, almost 200 viewers right now live. And I know, a lot of our Cairo Thought Leader members have figured out that we're gonna send out a replay, and so I just want to, for all of you who are on here live, I want to thank you, and I also want to tell you that there's a benefit to that. I mean, I can feel the energy, and the only thing, with more energy than a live webinar is maybe being in a live seminar or being right in front of the person speaking. So that makes a difference. And today we have our good friend and thought leader, Dr. Fred DiDomenico. He's going to be speaking about release the divine inspired leader inside you, living as a spiritual servant. And I'll tell you what, there's energy in that title right there. I cannot wait to find out what he has to say about that. Before we do, those of you who are listening in, you're watching from one of three areas. Let me just encourage you to please comment, ask questions. I'm going to be monitoring that as Dr. Fred is sharing. And we want to make sure that we answer any of your questions and that we get back to you very quickly with that. We also want you to share this on social media and share it with your colleagues. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Dr. Fred, who is joining us live. Dr. Fred, how are you?
I'm great. It's great to be here, Tabor. Cairo Thought Leaders is such an amazing group. Chris has really started an awesome movement, and all the leaders that he have chosen are truly great, and as you will see, divine inspired leaders, along with all of you people out there, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Awesome. Well, let me ask you, just the title, that's probably when we're having so many people flooding on live right now, is release the divine inspired leader inside you. I mean, that caught my eye. That made me just anticipate this webinar. What does that mean? Go ahead and start us off. Tell us what that is.
Well, I think everybody knows when you're a chiropractor, this isn't a job. This is a life calling. It's a soul purpose. And chiropractic is a universal law. The principle of chiropractic is there's a life force in our body. There's universal intelligence, and we're innate intelligence. We're a piece of the universe. We are a life force in the physical body, and a subluxated spine blocks that life force of the physical body and causes disease.
Right. That's
really almost the small picture. The disease is a small thing. The big idea is an alignment with the universe is a big thing, and that's what B.J. Palmer talked about. And I could just roll right into this, Tabor. I don't know if you wanted me to answer that question, or that's kind of the segue into the whole thing here.
Awesome. Go ahead, brother.
As a life coach, I know one of the things is lead coaching is also a life coaching system, and just as a chiropractor, I know I came here to be a chiropractor and a teacher. A chiropractor is really a teacher. A chiropractor is almost a small thing, but you're communicating a universal principle that is universal law. Chiropractic is a law. It's a universal law, and you are aligned with the universe when you're teaching this truth. And so we are leaders, and we're leading people to change their lives. An inspired leader, the word inspired, comes from the root entheos, which means in God. And as we communicate this truth, when we actually look at this from a bigger perspective and a more divine perspective, then we realize that every person standing in front of us is a spiritual being. The innate inside me, when I look in someone's eyes, is the same as the innate inside them. And if I'm teaching a universal law and principle, then that person as a spirit, regardless of why they think their conscious mind stood them in front of you, or in front of me, or in front of you, in front of any of you guys, there's a reason. If you believe the universe has intention, then there's a reason that spirit is standing in front of you, because it's seeking a truth. Every spiritual being, which is all of us in a physical body, is seeking consciousness of yourself. That's a capital S, your God self. So if innate is the universe inside of us, then we seek to gain consciousness of ourself. And a person standing in front of you, whether it's a patient or a headache or a back pain or an asthma or whatever it is, They're seeking something bigger. And when you communicate that truth, there's a few belief systems that we teach in our boot camps. Number one belief system, you're teaching a universal law. Number two belief system is that if the universe has intention, that every person standing in front of you is seeking something bigger from you and seeking a relationship from you. Number three, since chiropractic is a vehicle that aligns with universal law, that every person wants to be in relationship with you, probably wants to be on your care, minimally wants to be in relationship with you. Yep. So when we look at divine inspired leaders, I have a great picture of Reverend Martin Luther King. Notice Reverend, divine inspired leader, what was his message? He put there was 250,000 people on the lawn in Washington. He didn't have Facebook. He didn't have email. Why did 250 people come to him? Because his message was a universal law. What was that universal law? Well, he says, I have a dream. His message was unity, that skin color didn't matter, that the God inside you and the spirit inside you is the same as the spirit inside me, regardless of race, color, creed, or those choices. He communicated a universal law of unity. If you look at Abraham Lincoln wanted to abolish slavery, that was unity. If you look at Nelson Mandela, to abolish apartheid, that was a principle of unity. You're a chiropractor. That is a universal law of unity, uniting the spiritual self, God self, with the physical body to expand consciousness in the universe. You are a divine inspired leader because you're communicating a truth that is aligned with universal law. That means that you are living as a spiritual servant. Do you see yourself as a divine inspired leader? Not just a leader, but aligned with universal law, that masses will come to you, and every individual, whether it's by 1 or by 10, that is standing in front of you is seeking relationship with you. Is that a foundational belief system?
Well, I mean, you're opening up minds right now. I think that's where our power comes from, and just those words, divine inspired leader, reminds me of an article I read, and they were talking about some of the greatest leaders in our, not even in our time, but even in the past, and all of them had not even a belief, but a knowing that there was that divine calling on their life to do what they did. So it was not even them, it was outside them, it was something greater than them that drove them to be that kind of leader.
Well, and then that leads us into our next slide. It's what's a servant leader? They set aside what's characteristics. They set aside self-interest of the leaders for the betterment of the followers. Let's go back. When you look at Martin Luther King here, how much focus do you think he had on himself? He didn't have any. No. His focus was on the masses. Now, here's the difference, gang. You know why people struggle in their practice? Because you're focused on community. Can your focus be on humanity? When your focus is on humanity, community is easy. Your practice is easy. Focus on humanity. All these people that are preaching universal laws, which is you. Say, that's me. Put your finger on your chest. Say, that's me.
That's me.
I'm preaching, I'm teaching a universal law. I'm aligned with the universe. Then your focus is humanity. Now, when your focus is humanity, how much interest is on yourself? The reason you have problems is because your focus is on yourself. When your focus is giving to humanity, you realize the universe already has your back. Everything is done. Everything I would ever need is already done in advance. I'm a divine spiritual servant. It is done. I am focused on the betterment of the lives and changing humanity. Isn't that the message of chiropractic?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah, here's what we have to do. You have to realize we have to change our reference point. We are not a human being on a spiritual journey. Now, don't read ahead, because people think, okay, I'm looking for spiritual experiences. No, you are the spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being on a human journey. You're a spirit coming in to experience life on the physical realm. So we have to change our reference point like a hologram. When our reference point becomes our spirit, we channel into that power. How did Martin Luther King put 250,000 people on that lawn? because he was not a human being seeking a spiritual experience. He was a spiritual being channeling energy. Look at Jesus Christ or Gandhi or any of these divine inspired leaders. They were conscious of their spirit first. Moving on to another great master, your soul business. It should be S-O-U-L business. In life is to attain God realization. What's that mean? Is to attain your reference point. Have your reference point be your spirit. All else is useless and worthless. Why? Because conditions come and go. Here's the thing. There's so many people working on self-improvement. It's the biggest illusion of all. Self-improvement is an illusion. Because you get what you focus on. If you're always focused on self-improvement, you're always finding a problem to improve, when in reality, it's all about releasing what isn't true about you. When you're focused on the conditions in your life, then you see problems. When you're focused on your spirit, you feel the perfection that's within yourself, and you begin to release the illusion of imperfection that most people focus on. His life can be summarized in 6 words: serve, love, give, purify, meditate, realize. But we have to realize that we are all a piece of the universe that has great intention. You are a piece, and your piece makes the universe perfect. Without you and your purpose, there is imperfection in the universe, because you have a sole purpose. You've come here. People have come here, and they're waiting for you. There are spirits and people waiting for you to expand your consciousness so they can align with you. Everything in your practice, everything, I repeat myself, everything that you ever desire, everyone that you ever need to attract is waiting for you to let go of your stuff, establish your spiritual reference point so they can come and align with you. Your ultimate practice is already done. How do you get past your conscious mind? Do you know that that's all an objection is in your practice? We focus 2.5 days. We have 2 boot camps, 2.5 days. How to handle objections. Guess how you handle them? Your first belief system is that people truly want to be in your program. They want a relationship with you. The rest is just getting them past their conscious mind. So here's a really good analogy. Have you ever seen The Field of Dreams? So you go there, right? Kevin Costner, his wife's brother. You got to sell, Ray. You got to sell. James Earl Jones says, Ray, they will come. They'll brush the flies away from their face. See, those flies are like the distractions of their day. It's being a soccer mom. It's what's my insurance cover. It's can you just crack my back. It's have a busy life. Yeah. See, they brush the flies away. Why? He goes, they'll hand over $20. They won't even know why. You know why? Because their spirit is drawn. Learn how to talk to their spirit, and you can get them past their conscious mind. Learn how to make an innate to innate connection. You have to first believe that there's perfection in the union between the two of you. And then you attract them 10 at a time. You're an essential piece of the universe. Field of Dreams is a chiropractic movie. It's a spiritual movie. Tony Robbins, Mastering Influence. I can tell you right now, I mean, I'm a coach. I spent almost $50,000 in coaching. Half of that was with Tony Robbins, not him personally, but through his seminars and things and products. Number one reason people fail, they don't have a compelling reason. What's your compelling reason? Is it compelling enough to help you overcome everything? Compelling reason is purpose. Purpose is only fuel. Tools and skills create success. But you have to have a compelling reason. Guess what for your patients? You have to find their compelling reason. That's all it is. Find their compelling reason. Find your compelling reason, because not doing it makes you miserable. You know what your vision is. The worst fear should be not doing it that moves you every day to be uncomfortable, because your vision is outside your comfort zone of where you are right now. You got to know your bigger purpose. You got to know it. You got to feel it. That's what NLP is, lead coaching. I mean, I'm just, not that I'm promoting anything, but it's an NLP. The world is the world, and all the CEOs are moving towards life coaching. Okay, you got to feel it, NLP teacher. You got to feel your purpose inside. You got to put it into your neurology. You got to feel that vision inside. You got to feel that purpose, as a higher vibration and be conscious with your spirit, because that's what you're going to feel in your body, and that's the fuel that gets you up, that gives you energy, that gives you creative ideas, that helps you find that new strategy. That's what it is. It's what you feel that makes your mind turn on, that turns on your spirit. And we got to know that and feel it in our body. Another thing, Tony Robbins. There's what you do. What do we do? Chiropractic. What do you do? Adjust. And then there's what you really do. This is Business Master. I spent $10,000 to go to this seminar. Awesome seminar. What do you really do? You're a divine inspired leader that help people connect with the spirit inside them, to give them the discipline, the vehicle, and the self-empowerment to be able to live their life on a higher level. Teach your team those words. What do you do? I'm a chiropractor. What do you really do? I help people reach their best in their life and help them attain optimal health through the vehicle of chiropractic, to empower them to believe they can reach their best and to deliver the services and health that help them fulfill their sole purpose in life. Would that be a little more compelling elevator speech? Does your team have that language? Does your team communicate what you do? Do you understand what you really do? Do you understand what you really do? Because if you don't understand it, how is everybody else going to understand it? You have to develop that language. What does elite coaching do? What does Cairo thought leaders do? We help you create and release and find the divine inspired leader inside you. That's what it really is. To me, this talk is about the theme of Cairo thought leaders. And although Chris isn't here, I'm sure he would agree. Thank you, Chris, for developing this. Next, you got to say yes to your desire and purpose. How do you say yes? You got to say yes. So at home, say yes. Yes, right? You got to be willing. You got to be humble. Okay? You got to be open and quiet. You got to find the stillness. God is in the stillness. He's not in the noise. You have to be faithful. When you get that, the universe likes motion, right? They don't like delay, procrastination. The universe likes motion. You get that inspiration, you move, and be faithful. You have to convey authority, have and convey authority. So that comes through your tone, through your body language, through your voice. So when you're making innate to innate eye contact with someone, they know that you are so rooted and grounded that nothing will move you, and those are people that are great leaders. Those are leaders that people want to follow. Then you got to take massive action. Here's Moses from the Ten Commandments. Hey, he's got his back up against the Red Sea. You know, he looks back, he's got the Egyptians coming at him. Man, have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt like you're being attacked? You're stuck between a rock and a hard spot. What does he do? How much thought when he raised his staff and he imagine what he felt, the level of faith that said, you're going to move, God, you're going to move the universe right now. Was there a thought in his head? Or what kind of power did he feel in his body? Do you think he was thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? What do I do? Or did he stand up and say, the universe and God is going to move right now because I am being called, I am open, I am willing, I am humble, I speak with authority, I raise this staff, and there will be an answer right now. Imagine what he felt at that moment. That's what you build your practice with, is that authority. Why? Because you're aligned with the universe, just like he is, just like he was. You are aligned. There is no difference. He was a man with a speech impediment that denied God at the burning bush 5 times. How many times are you denying your destiny? What are the thoughts that are going through your head? You can't avoid it. All you can do is eliminate the pain of delay. That's all it is. You eliminate your pain by eliminating the delay. Just accepting and saying, yes, I don't know how. I'm not supposed to know how. What I'm supposed to know is I just say yes to my vision. Now show me the path. So you got to be before your conditions. What's that mean? Conditions in the physical world are second. We're a spiritual being first. So you walk in balance with one foot in your spiritual understanding and 1 foot in your physical world of accomplishment. What's that mean? I walk with spiritual consciousness through the physical world and realize the noise of the physical world is second, that I am first. I am the creative process. Hit yourself on the chest. That's an incantation. I am the creative process. I am creation. The universe moves through me. These are incantations. I am the power of the universe. All that I say and command right now comes into manifestation. That's how you start your day. Feel your nervous system tingle. Feel your state change. Now, wire that into your system and gain that spiritual reference point as a feeling in your body. So when you have a vision, what do you see? Do you see the world? Do you see humanity? Or do you see your conditions? What do you see in your bank account? What do you see in your relationships? It doesn't matter what's there now. That's right there this second. The whole world can change in a second. Right? Be grateful for what you see. Say, thank you that I have that. Thank you that my bank account's going to fill. There's so much room in my bank account for millions of dollars. All I see right now is a space to be filled by the universe because I am faithful. Do you see what Martin Luther King saw? Do you think he saw 250,000 in his mind's eye first? I would bet he did. So you see with insight, not with eyesight. If you're focused on what you see with your eyes in the physical world, and you believe that's your reality, then you are also subjected to the limitations of the physical world. If you see with insight, then you see with a spiritual reference point, and you begin to see things in the world that are different. Do you believe what you see, or do you see what you believe? Do you believe what you see, or do you see what you believe? If you believe first, that's what you'll see. If you see and then believe, you're seeing with your eyesight. You're not seeing with the spiritual consciousness of divine insight. And that's the difference between a leader on this earth and a divine inspired leader that changes humanity. Which do you prefer? What are you being called to? Deepak Chopra, the most common reason that people turn to spirituality is to deal with suffering. Hey, you know what suffering is? Knowing you have a vision. Knowing that you're bigger than you are. Feeling that your spirit is seeking consciousness of yourself and you're acting according to the limiting conditions of the world. That is suffering. So when you've had enough and you say, I don't want to be like this anymore, you turn to something that's bigger and you decide to tap into a consciousness that's going to lead you to greater things. I'm writing a book. It's Healed. It's a 6-step system to living a spiritually fulfilling life. It's a spiritual guide to living a fulfilling life. So here's a quote right out of here. The manuscript will be done in a month, and the book will be out hopefully in the first quarter of next year. So a direct quote from this book, Moving from Darkness into Light. The darkness is limited thinking and sole focus on your humanity. Don't read ahead. I'm explaining. Don't read ahead. Right? Your humanity is the ignorance of your loving divinity. See, we are divine and human at the same time. Your humanity comes with suffering, pain, negative emotions, and lower vibration. That's all the suffering in your mind. Where there is light, there must also be dark. In our divinity, we also embrace our humanity. The darkness must. There's no meaning to the light. There has to be a contrast. The first half of your life is living in your humanity, and then you gain that spiritual consciousness, and then we see and feel the light when we illuminate. The light will not be understood without its opposite. So your whole past is okay. All the pain, all the fear, all the conditions that happened to you have led you to this point right now where you say, I am done suffering in my humanity. I love my humanity, but my divinity is my reference point. I don't need suffering. I can rise above suffering and pain. I'm above fear because I'm in unity with the universe. Since we are the world and the world is within us, we all have darkness just as we all have light. Hey, you can lose your patience with your spouse. You might, I don't know, yell at your kids. You might get upset at a patient. You know, we have our humanity. but then we monitor our state. And then we say, that's not like me. I associate with my humanity. Now I'm going to apologize. I will forgive myself. If I need to ask forgiveness of other people, great. But now I can go back to my reference point and realize I love my humanity, but my divinity moves through my humanity. And I am illuminated. So now, how do we open the door from our humanity into our divinity? The door into presence. You begin to walk through that door from mind. Our mind is our humanity, into spiritual consciousness and higher awareness by being present with your body. This is a quote right out of my book, Heal. So how do you get there? You got to feel in your body. You got to feel that spirit radiate. It says we are to have the thoughts of God. We can rewire our mind. Science is talking about neuroplasticity right now. And you can change epigenetics. You can change your DNA through energy and through thought. Science is now explaining on a quantum level how our spirit can heal and change our body and our mind and our consciousness and radiate and illuminate into the universe. How cool is that? Totally awesome. How do we do that? Through meditation. God is in the stillness. He's in the space between the words. He's in the notes. He's in the space between the notes of the music. He's before the physical world. He's in the quietness before the noise of the universe. You can change your mind by feeling your body. You got to feel your body. How do you do that? Through meditation. You quiet your mind by feeling your body. You ever notice in a meditation tape, they go relax your head, relax your scalp, relax your arms, relax your chest, deep breaths. What are they doing? They're quieting your mind by feeling your body. Do you ever meditate? I just can't stop the thoughts. That's because you're trying to quiet your mind. You can't intentionally quiet your mind. You quiet your mind by feeling your body. Get into breath. And then radiate, feel that energy, your spirit radiating from inside you outward, extending out into the universe as though your skin is like a mesh. Right, on a quantum level or more space than matter. It radiates out. You can feel the fullness as if your whole body is swollen because the energy is radiating past the boundaries of your skin. Feel the vibration and feel it interacting on a quantum level with the universe. The universe vibrates at the energy of pure consciousness. So exchanging, your spirit exchanging on a quantum level with the universe, and you're totally aligned. And you're feeling that, and all of a sudden there is no thought. Now wire that feeling into your body and nervous system. Use that as your reference point. So throughout your day, when you feel stressed, man, I can do it in a breath. I can get that feeling in my body in one breath, and I can quiet my mind from the noise and get back to spiritual consciousness. And once you're at that vibration, see and feel your visions as they're passed into the universe like a rock dropping into a pond, and those waves spreading out into the universe. And the universe on a quantum level with joy, bringing and manifesting that into physical form. And you're receiving with gratitude and joy. Now you're vibrating at a higher level. And if you're doing this now, you can feel it. Condition that into your body so you can do it in a breath. Then you don't have to, all you got to do is feel the purpose of why. You can ask how, but then let it go. Okay, God, you're supposed to deliver how. So this is what, as you meditate, this is what you should feel, radiating through your body, extending out in the universe, and now you're illuminating. Now see however many people, thousands, millions, hundreds, 10, whatever you desire, coming towards you. See those spirits walking into your life and you exchanging love and unity with them. That's your practice. Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. First really self-help book was a spiritual book. Increase is what all men and women are seeking. Your spirit seeks growth. So we seek increase. We seek consciousness of ourselves. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within, innate intelligence, that seeks fuller expression. All they're saying, this was in 1911, all he's saying is your spirit is seeking consciousness of yourself. Become conscious of your spiritual self, and you begin to release the divine inspired leader inside you. Letting go is not about having the courage to release the past. Forget the past. We're in now. It's about having the wisdom to embrace the present. Everything that has happened in your past was something to bring you to this moment today on this webinar. This moment, time becomes vertical. There is no past. There is no future. There's only now in your illumination. As right now you gain consciousness and you feel the spirit inside you that is here to love and serve others, because you know you're already taken care of. Embrace the moment. Be a universal channel for receiving. Now this is where chiropractic has always said, give for the sake of giving, love for the sake of loving. Here's the problem. You think if I give, you give energy, and then you give. Some people reduce their fees, and then you find out, Doc, I can't afford it, but I got a new car. Right? I'm going on family vacation, Doc, I'm having a hard time, I gotta go. All this stuff. And even in marriage, you feel like you give, but what you're not aware of is giving and receiving are the same thing. So you give to the point of your own self-deprecation. In other words, you give away and you feel like giving is energy coming out of you, and it wears you down. I mean, I've been like that. Give, serve, and you help people, but you feel sometimes like it's not appreciated. Sometimes it's in a merit. Sometimes, if anybody has teenagers, you know what I'm talking about. You may not feel as appreciated as you have liked. Here's a spiritual principle where giving is actually a self-replenishing. Would that be important to be able to change your perspective on a spiritual level to realize that giving and receiving are simultaneous? Say yes.
Yes, that's right.
This is a section out of Healed Again. Giving and receiving are the same and simultaneous. Why? Why is that? Don't read ahead. When you focus on receiving what you're giving, you are now training yourself to receive love. So here's what happens. Whatever you give, don't read ahead, please. Whatever you give, this is important, pay attention. Whatever you give is what you experience. Your brain, your limbic brain, does not know the difference between you and another person. It doesn't know what's inside you, and it doesn't know what's outside of you. So the part of your brain that wires emotion only knows what it's experiencing. So as you give love, you enjoy the experience of love. All your brain knows, your brain is wired for receiving. You are only a receiving mechanism. You are neurologically, emotionally wired to receive. This is a big one. So as you give and you enjoy the experience, then what you are is you're receiving simultaneously. So the more you receive, the more you have to give. Become a universal channel for receiving. You now become a receiving being for the purpose of giving more. So if I want to donate $1 million and I receive 10 million, if I want to donate 100 million, I'm receiving, 200 million. Okay, so whatever I envision giving, then I'm going to receive 10 times that. So I can give 10 times more. If I want to be a universal channel of giving, then first I am a universal channel of receiving. So you think that if you give, then you receive. No, that's wrong. That's inaccurate. That's religion. That's all the other stuff. That's humanity. That's not divinity. You become a receiving being for the purpose of giving more. When your intention is to give more, you must receive more to give. So have the intention to give more and be a receiving channel. You are now a receiving channel for universal love. You are now tapping into universal abundance. That consciousness turns you into a universal channel of receiving. Say, I am a universal channel of receiving. Hit yourself in the chest. Point your finger at your chest. I am a universal channel of receiving. Now, are you blessed? Deuteronomy, here it says, if you diligently obey the voice of the Lord, what's that mean? Get quiet. Align with the universe. Lord your God will set you high above all nations. What's that mean? You will be a divine inspired leader that you already are. You become authority of all nations. How many nations? All nations. Blessed shall you be in the city. Blessed shall you be in the country. Blessed is the fruit of your body. I'm healthy because I'm fulfilling my purpose in the universe. Blessed when I come in, blessed when I go out. I am blessed. Any enemy that will rise against you, they be defeated before your face. I am protected because I am aligned with the goodness and love of the universe. They may come out against me one way, but they flee 7 ways. They stand in front of you and they flee a countless amount of ways. Lord will command, the universe commands your blessing in my storehouse. They fill my bank account. Why? Because I am a universal channel receiving. I destined myself to give more. That means I receive 10 times that. Anywhere you set your hand, it is blessed. I am the head, not the tail. I am above, not beneath. I am above the conditions of the world. How's that?
It's awesome.
That. Now, you got to lose your story, man. This is losing your past. Moses sat in front of the bush with his story. I'm slight of speech. Who shall I say sent me? I can't do this. Pick somebody else. I mean, come on, God. Geez, the friggin' Egypt, the Egyptians. Are you serious? I will be your mouth. I'll tell you what to say, right? He had to lose his story. God does not call the qualified. God qualifies the call. What's that mean? You may think you're not the most talented, but the most talented isn't called to do what you do. You don't need 8 million talents. You have the talent for your purpose. Only you have it. Only the people in the universe will be attracted to you because you're here for a reason. You make and create and add perfection to the universe. So what you do is you say yes. Say yes to that destiny. Say yes to that purpose. You get the qualification with your yes. Now, how will come? You develop the tools. You develop the skills. You get the tools. You develop the strategy. The right people come in your life. The right conditions. You expect miracles. You expect that I say yes. I am willing. I am open. I speak with authority. I command the universe. I say yes, and all things are laid in front of me. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter who the other person is. It doesn't matter what they have or what they do. Here's a really big challenge for them. They're not you. In fact, if you put yourself in their life, you might be freaking miserable. Right? Because you're you to do what you came and what you're qualified for. And God and the universe will qualify you. Another quote out of Healed. The thoughts, feelings, and emotions you resist are ruling your life, which determine what you attract now. You basically have fear and love. Well, guess what? When you face your greatest vision and love, you have to confront your greatest fear. You have to overcome your greatest fear to attain your greatest vision and love. To experience your greatest vision and love, you have to approach your greatest fear. If you look at a marriage, man, if you're going to be emotionally dependent, totally emotionally vulnerable, you face the fear of getting hurt. In every marriage, there's hurts. You have to be willing to have the hurt to have the greatest love. You got to be willing to say, you know, there's things that may come up against me, but God flees them 7 ways. So I reach my vision. Why? Because I am called. It is done. So I have to face the fear of not doing it. And then rather than say, no, I won't face it, that's resistance, because what you resist rules your life. You say, I feel the fear. I recognize it. I thank you because that's my humanity, but I am divine first. Thank you because I recognize my humanity and the fear. Now I associate with my divinity and I move through it. Why? Because I am aligned. I am innate intelligence, a channel for universal abundance. I am a receiving channel. I walk in faith. I am blessed when I come in. I'm blessed when I go out. I am above, not beneath. I am the head, not the tail. You got to refer to these things. You got to remind, bring back to your mind to get past that your humanity in your mind, to associate with your spirit and take that 18-inch journey from your frontal lobe to your heart. Another quote from Heal. Thought is a process. You are not the process. You are the being before the process. You are consciousness. What's that mean? Thought in your mind is like a tool. It's like a screwdriver. If you got to screw a screw in, I use the screwdriver. That's a tool. My skill is twisting that screwdriver. That's like your mind. Your mind is a strategic tool. But that's not who I am. I'm a spirit. I'm not my mind. I'm not a tool. When you put that screwdriver down, you are not the screwdriver. You get up, you walk away from that screwdriver. You put that screwdriver in your toolbox. You know when your mind is working with you. You know when it's working against you. So you realize my mind is a strategic tool. I don't need strategy right now. I am love. I am beingness. I am connecting innate to innate with this person. I don't need my mind. I'm not solving a problem right now. Thought is a process. Don't be the process of thought. Be the beingness before the process. Feel your consciousness. Now you got to believe. For surely I say to you, whoever says mountain, be removed and cast to the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, right? All those things shall come to pass. Therefore, whatever things you ask when you pray, imagine if every thought was a prayer. What if you saw every thought as a prayer, as energy into the universe? Would you guard your thoughts? Would you be careful? Are you careful, full of care with what you pray for? Then if every thought was a prayer, would you be more specific about your thoughts? Believe them and you receive them. You can say to that mountain, you look at your challenges, be cast into the sea. That is doubt and fear. I am not doubt. I am consciousness before thought. I am a being before the conditions of the world. That is a condition of the world. I am bigger than any condition. He who is in me is greater than he is in the world. I see stuff in the world. I'm bigger than that. My faith carries me through. Now you expect a simple thing. This was a video, Joel Osteen, that I listened to one day. Now this is a quick story. There were two kings going across the desert, and they wanted to kick butt on another, and Moab, another king in Moab. They're going across the desert, and they run out of water. They're like, crap, man. That's what they said. That's in the Greek. Crap, man. We ran out of water. Our animals, and we need water. We're not going to be able to fight. So he goes, well, let's look at the prophet Elijah, or Elisha. And then he says, basically what he says is this. Thus says Lord, make the valley full of ditches. You will not see wind, nor you see rain, yet the valley shall be filled with water. So they dig ditches. In the morning, it's full of water. There's no rain. The universe will give you rain, will give you water without rain. Do you have your ditches dug? Are you prepared for the universe to fill them? Are your ditches already in place? Because this is but a trivial thing in the sight of the Lord. What's that mean? To fill your ditches without rain, fill your ditches with water without rain is a small thing. Parting the Red Sea was a small thing. He had the miracles of Moses. He had 10 plagues. Water becomes blood, frogs, lice. Well, look at all this stuff. He parted the Red Sea. Manna came from heaven. They had quails in the desert. People were complaining and no meat. Change the wind, and all of a sudden quails come in and feed them for a month. Thousands of people are fed with quails in the desert. Fire by night, cloud by day. They're going through the desert. They have no water. He says, tap the rock. Moses taps the rock twice. Splits the rock. Water flows out for people to drink. Have you dug your ditches? Do you expect miracles? Do you channel universal energy? Do you see yourself as a divine, what was that word? Divine, inspired, entheos, in God, divine inspired leader. Now you have faith. Fear is not knowing God is ahead of you, clearing your path. You see this. Look at that picture on the left. God sees this. You see this. Conditions. How am I going to do it? You know, what's this? Oh my God, this challenge and the board and this and da 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 da. God sees a small path, a straight path. What do you see? You see with insight. To the left is your eyesight. To the right is insight. How do you want to live your life? According to the universe? We want to live your life according to the world. You get to choose, because you can have both. You can walk in the spiritual world, 1 foot in the spiritual world, 1 foot in the physical world. Well, I don't fear the conditions of the world. That's in my mind. I walk according to universal laws and principles. Step 11, have gratitude. You cannot exercise power without gratitude, for it is gratitude that keeps you connected with the power. Gratitude says, I vibrate higher. I am pure consciousness. I thank you, God. I thank you, universe, that all things come my way. That vision is being manifested now and every day. That I open and I am receiving openly all the blessings. I'm blessed when I come in. I'm blessed when I go out. Sorry, my phone's ringing in the background.
Okay.
So that's all. That's how we live. We live with gratitude, because gratitude is the bridge between fear and love. Did you hear that? Gratitude is the bridge between fear and love. When you experience fear, you have gratitude, and it carries you back into love. I thank you that whatever I'm fearing, it is just an illusion. Why? Because I am a spiritual being aligned with the universe, and I thank you that this is going away. I thank you that I clear the path. That is a condition of the world, and I am before that condition. And what I know is I am aligned. I'm an abundant receiving channel, and that will dissipate right in front of me. Thank you. There you go. That is a divine inspired leader right there. Now, one last thing, well, maybe not one last thing, but, I get, this is part of my life purpose, teaching spiritual principles. I don't claim to be anyone that knows anything more than anyone else, just that we are all spiritual beings. As my spirit goes through this, not only create this PowerPoint, but delivers this message, my intention is for my innate to connect with your innate. And if we can do that, and we can help each other grow into the consciousness and reference point of our spirit, then we can really operate in joy and love in every area of our life. And because we as spiritual beings can move to a higher consciousness, and then we can truly, really change the world. When we function and vibrate at the frequency of love, illumination, bliss, and infinite peace, we can counterbalance the energy and the consciousness of 10 million people. I say that affirmation because I'm about to come out with a spiritual book that my goal is 1 billion people. So I hope that you can read that this has blessed you, has awakened something inside you that makes you more conscious of the being that is you. And if I can ever shed anything, or you can help me or I can help you, I'd love to be in relationship with you. So thank you for listening, and I hope this message has awakened the giant that's really in you. Thanks.
Dr. Fred, man, I want to ask you a question about your book here in just a second, but wow, that message is beautiful. The thing about it that hits me is first of all, it changes everything, but it changes everything if I stay aware of it. Does that make sense? Is that so? So my question for you is, because my challenge is staying aware of that in and out of day and day. Like you said, we're distracted. Things happen, and we forget we have a divine calling. We forget we're divine leaders in certain situations. And is that part of your daily ritual that you tie in? I know you talked a little bit about incantations, but if you could share with us maybe some tips and strategies on keeping this power in the forefront of our mind every day.
Well, I like every great leader, it's through habit, right? I start my habits with this stuff every day. I have my incantations and affirmations and whatever you want to call them. And, just like what Chris says, it's about your daily habits, Dr. DiDomenico. And, I listen to spiritual things in the morning. So my first basically hour and a half, I have about a 40-minute routine at home. I plug in whatever drives me or inspires me that day. It could be a pastor, it could be a spiritual leader, and that's what I listen to when I'm working out. Learning through NLP, you got to drive it into your nervous system. You can create neuroplasticity. So I like listening to spiritual things as I work out. So as I experience pain in my body, I'm driving the message into my body. Now, will you still go into your humanity? Can you react to conditions? Can you react to people? Yeah, and we're in relationship with people, not just people, but in your relationship at home. Can you lose patience? Can you experience the hurt? Oh my God, everybody does. But I know when I'm acting, whether it's inappropriate or an inappropriate is not aligned with my spiritual self. When I'm acting out my pain, then I can stop and take a breath. And because I've already conditioned it in my body, as quickly as one deep breath, I can feel and change the vibration of my body and get centered again. So the question is, there's times where your humanity wants to be caught up in your pain because it seeks the pain and suffering of humanity. And then that's when you have to be able to recognize and say, this isn't really who I am. I can just, rather than resist it and get mad, I can appreciate that I have human emotions and I let myself get carried away, but I can remind myself of divinity very quickly and get back to center again. So the importance of the daily habit is to create that reference point so that throughout the day I can return to that space and that state again.
Awesome. Well, what is there an update you have on your book? Is that going to be available? Do you have like a time frame? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the manuscript is supposed to be done. I mean, we're working on a lot of things. It takes a number of things to put a book together, obviously graphics and all that. Will be an ebook and audio book coming up, most likely in the first quarter of next year. I hope to have it in print. It really, I mean, as I'm going through doing the final edits right now, it's a powerful book, and it will read at any level of consciousness. And really the goal is to turn that into a life coaching system. As you know, Tabor, you've been to the boot camps. I teach spiritual principles.
Yeah.
And because I think chiropractic is a spiritual calling. And so what I found with being a life coach is it's being before doing. Systems and chiropractic, that's the easy part. When you raise your beingness, systems become easy and automatic. That's why Dr. Chris does amazing things. His systems are so consistent because of his beingness. His power is in his beingness. Systems are the easy part. So I know, understanding this principle in elite coaching, we teach beingness. We have systems that are so specific for spinal corrective practices. But as you know, Tabor, you go to those boot camps, man, communication is about your state of being.
Yeah.
Then learning the tools and developing the skills in communication to where you truly learn how to become a divine inspired leader. You've been through the experience. Would you agree?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
So the people listening, if they have some questions for you, if they want to connect with you, and if they want to find out more about elite coaching even, can you give us some contact info?
Yeah, I mean, you can just call me personally, 253-851-8353. My email, Dr. Fred, Dr. Fred, Fred, 1, the number 1 at msn.com. And as we're sitting here, what just hit me is I may make this PowerPoint. Well, actually, you guys will get the link. So, yeah, I was going to say we can get this out, but you will. I guess it solves the problem. You already sent out the link. You guys already have this. I'm more than happy for you to teach this. In order to become a master, you have to teach it, practice it, get it into your spirit, wire it into your neurology. As you listen to this tape, participate in the affirmations and touching your body and incantations. Wire it into you and then teach it so you can master it.
Awesome.
And please use this as a
tool.
Well,
thank you again, Dr. Fred, for being with us, and thank you for sharing this with us, man. It's awesome. Everybody out there, our Cairo Thought leaders, our members, we're going to be emailing this out to you. You'll get the replay. And then stay tuned for even more stuff. We are always trying to provide value and help chiropractors be that inspired leader that we know we all are already. Just like Dr. Fred, I'll leave you with this. What Dr. Fred always tells me is just be. Just be, man. Just be. Yep. All right. Thanks, brother. We'll talk to you guys later. Out there. Have a great night.
Sounds great. Thanks, Tabor.